I just want to take you through the objective. The first one is to prepare you and equip you for the skills that you need to set up your data analytics career. And the second one is to give you the skill to solve business problems for organizations. And the third one is to make you a go-to person in your organization when it comes to data analytics. I mean, data is at the heart of every business right now. Everyone wants to know what is going on with his or her business. They want to track activities concerning their business. So anyone with this skill stands a better chance of getting a job in the nearest future. I mean, this is a career for the future. In the next 10, 20 years, I think you will still be employable. I started my career in marketing, then I moved to sales, and I'm here in analytics. And let me quickly share this with you before I go into the training proper to give you a background of this course. When I started my career in marketing, we were all doing the marketing thing, going out, sourcing for customers and all that. And then I moved to sales. I got my sales role because of my marketing experience. I'm trying to let you know how these things intertwine, how they all work together. And then when I moved into sales, because of my marketing experience, I was able to combine the two of them. And then I moved to product management, where I became the CEO of my product. And I had to be in charge of everything that has to do with the product, from marketing to even sales itself to analytics, because every day we get data on what is going on with our product. And then I saw that there is a gap that I needed to fill, and I found myself in the US, and boom, I'm a data analyst. So I'm just giving you an idea, a background of why you need this. And today, analytics is going into every sector, every industry. If you go to the hospitality industry, I remember when I interviewed with Hilton, they were looking for a data analyst. And then I interviewed with them, and they were like, they want someone that will be behind their data to know how many people actually go to their website to want to book reservation for their hotel. And then they went on and on and on. We want to know how many rooms we get booked, what is the average, where are they coming from, and all of that. And that is data analytics. And then look at the health sector today. Every health company or organization is trying to integrate data into what they have. They have it in paper, but right now they are moving it to virtual. I mean, they are moving it into tech, rather. It's no more a paper thing. They want to broaden what they have. And it's getting bigger and bigger. So you need to really position yourself for the future. So why do you need to learn SQL? SQL is everywhere. And all the big tech companies today, they use SQL. There's no two ways about that. They use SQL. And if you look at most job posting, you will see job posting for a data analyst. You will see the requirement. The first thing you will see is Excel, SQL, R, Python, data visualization. And that is why we have decided to take you through this journey. We've done Excel with STEMHub Foundation before, and that's why we're doing SQL and data visualization. These are the things they need for you to start your career as a data analyst. So SQL is in demand. I've said that before. If you want to get any job, it is very important that you get this skill. The recruiters, like I said, they state what they want, for the new role. If they want a reservation person, they state their requirements. So if you're looking for any job as a data analyst, just make sure you go through their requirements, what the must-haves. What do you need to have as a data analyst? Make sure you go through. And we saw that SQL is at the heart of it. It's over 57% of all the data analyst role that is advertised require SQL. So you need this skill. There's no way you can analyze a data or a set of data without knowing SQL, because you use it to query information. If you want to work smarter, you want to work as a professional, as a pro, you need the skill. So SQL remains one of the top languages for any data analyst job. There's no two ways about that. And what are we going to be learning in this training? We're going to be showing you or training you about what SQL is and why you need to learn it, the fundamentals of SQL, and how to download and install MySQL Bench. We're going to be using MySQL Bench, Workbench in this training, because it's one of the easiest and the most relatable that I have seen. I can do all of them. I can do SQLite, I can do SQL Server, but for people, beginners, I always advise MySQL. And again, it is one of the most popular in SQL management system. So this is why I'm training with this. We're going to show you how to download this today and how to use it. Then how to create new database and tables using MySQL Workbench. So if you have this downloaded on your laptop or your computer, you also need to create database. If you download it, it's going to be empty without database. It's either you upload or bring in data into MySQL Workbench, or you create your database and then you build your tables. So it's not, that's why you see a company have different people in charge of different things. Some people are in charge of building the database. Some people are in charge of creating tables. And some people are just in charge. I mean, I have a friend that works with one big company. I'm not going to mention the name of the company. And what she does, the only thing she does every day is to bring dashboard to the management. That is what the company is paying her a lot of money for. She just goes to the database, pull out the daily report, and then she builds a dashboard with Tableau, of course. Builds the dashboard and then send it to the management, and then they start deliberating on that. So your work could be as simple as that as a data analyst. But the thing is, what do you want to do if you don't know how to use the tool? So the essence of this training is to teach you how to use the tool. It's all about the tool. You can't say you're a data analyst if you cannot use Excel, you cannot use R, Python, Tableau, Power BI. No, these are the tools they use, you understand? So you're going to be learning that in this training. So the third week, we're going to introduce you to Power BI, and then you download Power BI on your computer and you start building your dashboard. Now, the people that we had this Power BI training some weeks ago, let's say in May, and I'm very proud to say after the training, 3 people already got a data analyst job after that training. I'm so proud of that because I love success stories. I'm not just am I a loud person? I'm not a very loud person. Sometimes I want to share everything that, my mentees are experiencing and all that, like Dr. Adi, but I don't have the energy like her. But I'm happy to say that after that particular training, somebody in Australia got a job, a data analyst job. Somebody in Nigeria got, and another person, I think in US or Canada, I can't remember, but 3 people got a job after that training. So I'm just trying to say, no knowledge is so little for you.
My Jesus, how come we do that? Yes. That is amazing.
Yes, they did. I was so happy all the way from Australia. I was so happy, but I couldn't just be sharing everything. But that is the kind of success stories we're expecting after this training. And at the end of the training, we won't leave you hanging. We will not leave you hanging. If you get any interview request, Dr. Adi is there. Please reach out to Dr. Adi. She's going to put you through. That's why we're here. So why data analytics? What do data analysts do on a daily basis? What is their daily life? What does it look like? So a data analyst uses data to acquire information about specific topic, depending on their industry. So individuals looking for data analyst job must be knowledgeable in computer programs like Excel, Python, R. I've mentioned that before. And good communication skill, that it's very good for you to understand how to communicate your report to the stakeholders. Another problem that most data analysts have is that they have problems communicating this to the stakeholders, because honestly, no matter how good your report is, if you cannot communicate it well to people that need it, it's as good as not being good. Imagine you having a beautifully looking dashboard and you cannot talk through it. One thing is to build a nice dashboard. Another thing is to talk through your presentation. So that's another skill I think a good data analyst should have. The starting point for any data analyst role is advanced Excel. It's not just Excel, but the advanced. part of it. Excel has data analysis tools that you can use. So data visualization is also a very good one because you need to present your findings, like I said. So what does it look like? What does it look like to work as a data analyst? If you're starting out, you're starting with $59,000 for beginners. That's it. I mean, as you're starting this job, I'm not sure those guys that got the job told me their salary, but they told me it's something really good. So you're starting out as 59. I was making a presentation last week to a company in Nigeria about data analytics, and I pulled out information about Nigerians and how they pay data analysts. Trust me, data analysts get salary increase 12 times more than other industries as we speak today from that data that I pulled out for them. They get promotion and they get salary increase faster than anybody in the industry as of today. So you are not missing it. You're on the right track for being here. I congratulate all of you for taking this bold step, because I also took that step. I was lost with my years of experience. I have over 12 years of experience spanning through sales, marketing, data, and project management and all that, product management. But the moment I started this career, is like I started all over again. And one thing I'm going to tell you guys here today is that don't ever, am I too fast? Okay. Don't ever think that any time is too late. It's never too late to start anything. Never, ever too late to start anything. You know, you're better off starting late than not starting at all. So that's my advice to you. So this profession really pays well if you know what you're doing and you put your heart to it. Again, I'm going to warn you, it's not a bed of roses. When you start, you might get discouraged. Please don't give up. So what are you going to learn today? You're going to learn what SQL is and why you need to learn it, and how to download and install MySQL Workbench on your computer, and how to create new database using MySQL management system. And then we are going to create some codes and run some code. We might not create codes today, but we might end up downloading the software today and make sure everybody has it ready for next week. And from next week, we're going to be running codes, querying the data. And if we still have time, we will build a database today and then create some tables today so that we can get started properly. So, and at the end of this course, what are you going to be able to do to create tables and build database by yourself today? And you'll be able to retrieve information from the database using the query languages. And then you'll be able to insert and delete information from the database. So what do you need for this training? You need a computer, and we're going to be using Windows operating system today because I have a Mac also, but Mac is always giving issues. We can also use Mac, but for this training, we're going to be using Windows operating system. So if you have it, maybe by next week, if you don't have Windows, by next week, I might share how to download on Mac, but today is just going to be Windows. So we need your concentration, and we need you to have your writing materials in case you want to ask us questions. So who is this course for? Anyone who wants to learn SQL from the scratch, and those who have some basic skills of SQL and want to fill in the missing gap. So let's get started. Are you ready? Okay. So let's take you through the history of SQL. SQL was originally developed by IBM in the 70s, and it was initially called, SQL was initially developed by IBM, and it was called SQL. So structured English query language, that's what it was called at that time. So, but when they changed the acronym to SQL, SQL is a trademark but they changed the acronym to SQL because, don't mind me, I'm just interchanging. It's a trademark of an airplane company. So they moved it to structured query language that we know it, but some people still call it SQL. And for me, I call it most of the time SQL. So whichever way you call it is fine, it's perfect. So SQL uses certain commands like create, drop. These are the commands. I mean, you're going to be seeing all of these when we start working on this in the software. So these SQL commands are mainly categorized into 4 categories. And then we have the DDL. Now, the DDL is the data definition language, and this is part of SQL, which defines the data structure of the database in the initial stage when you're trying to build your database, when you're trying to create your database. So when database is about to be created, it is mainly used to create and restructure database. That's what DDL is used for. And this part is what we use this a lot when we're working with databases. So we have DML, which is data manipulation language. DML is used to manipulate the already existing data in the database. When you already created your database and you have your information in the database, you can use DML to manipulate whatever you have. That's when you begin to run your query with the select statement, and then you begin to insert, you begin to update, you can add to what you already have. Maybe you have something already on and you want to add more information, you can start using DML to do that. And then we have the data control language, that's the DCL. So the DCL is used to control access to the database. It is used to give people access, like you have a new team on board, or you have some people working on something and you want to give them access wherever they are. So you use the DCL to give them access. And once they are done with what they are doing, you take the access away from them. And that's mainly what DCL is used for. And then we have the TCL. TCL is used to control the changes made by DML, that's the data manipulation language. And then it also authorizes the statement to assemble conjunction into logical transactions. Now, the 2 of these are always used, they are used mostly, so to speak. That's the DDL and DML, because those are the ones you use on a daily basis when you're creating your database and when you're running your query using the select statement and all of that. And then when you want to update and maybe you want to take out something from the database. So why do companies use SQL? Many companies today use SQL to perform the following functions: to create new database, I've talked about that, to insert new data, to delete existing data, and to update records, to retrieve the data, and then create and drop tables, and then create functions and review and convert data type. So companies use that a lot. And where else will they store all the information? Today, if you go to the social media, you see a lot of things. Many companies use algorithm to pick a lot of information about people that use their products. And those algorithms pack all the information and that they put them in their database. So they begin to do target marketing based on what their customers want and need, based on the experiences they've had on social media. Maybe they clicked on something, they use that to track you, and then they use that to push to you the next product that's similar to what you have visited before, what you have experienced before on their platform or on social media. Is a powerful tool, I tell you. But they use SQL to gather all this, and then they query. Let's say, I will show you all of this as we go on. Let's say they want to query people that visited from Dallas. They just type select blah 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 from where this. I will show you all this, how it works. So what is a database? There must be a database before you can run any query, and that is given. A database is a collection of data stored in a format that is easily accessible by anyone given access. We talked about access in the previous slide. In order to manage your database, you will use software called Database Management System, or DBMS. And then DBMS is divided into 2 types. We have the relational database and the non-relational database. Most times, people don't use non-relational database because it doesn't recognize relationships. I will tell you about that in a minute. So many companies use relational database because they can connect tables. As you can see right here, you see these are different tables in the same database, and these tables are connected to themselves. They're connected to each other. You can see the link right here. So this is one database with a lot of tables with relationships. We will go deeper into relationships as we go ahead. And then most companies use MySQL, SQL Server, and Oracle database. And these are the most popular, but there are lots and lots and lots of databases that people use. So let's talk about keys. I'm not talking about keys that open the house now. Keys are used to uniquely identify and record any row or data from the table. And it is also used to establish and identify relationships between tables. We talked about relationships before. So let me go back to the previous slide. As you can see this table, before you can connect to any of this table, you need to identify keys. And we have what is called primary keys and foreign keys. The primary key is uniquely identifying a particular information on a data. And that primary key holds more power than the foreign key. So this is the primary key, is the first key which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity, uniquely. And an entity can contain multiple keys, but the primary key is the unique identifier. This is a table in a database, as you can see right here. This is an employee table. We have the employee ID. Remember, this is an employee table. We have the employee ID, we have the employee name, employee address, and every other information of that employee. But there's something that uniquely identifies that employee. That's the primary key. Let's say Mariam is an employee of STEMHub Foundation, and my employee ID is Mariam 102. And every time you pull Mariam 102, every information about me is going to show. And that is the powerful tool of this. I mean, it's a very powerful thing. Employee ID, primary key is the unique identifier of anybody. It could be employee ID, student ID, staff ID, whatever ID. So with the primary key, it makes your life easier, and you can easily connect the dots with the primary key. It's just like having a social security number in the US. With your social security number, anybody can get every information that has to do with your life. So social security number is just like your primary key. It is uniquely identifiable to you and you alone. No two persons can have a social security number except it's an identity theft. Right, but it is given to one person. The moment you have a social security number, that is your identity for the rest of your life as a US citizen or permanent residency of this country. That is primary key. That is a very good example of primary key. So we have the foreign key. A foreign key is at the columns of the table, which is used to point to the primary key of another table. With foreign keys, we can link two tables through the primary key of another table. Look at this. This is the primary key. And inside that primary, this is employee table, and this is department table. These are two different tables, but each of these tables have their own unique identity. For the employee table, we have the employee ID. And for the department ID table, we have the department ID, which is the primary key. So in the department ID, the department table, the department ID is the primary key. But in the employee table, department ID, as you see right here, is a foreign key because the primary key is in the department key. Please note your questions. So ask me when we take a break. I can take all the questions during the break. So if you have this foreign key inside this primary, inside this table, the employee table, that means you can find everything that has to do with department's table inside this. There's a link, there's a connection, and you can link these two tables together and make it one table. And they use the joins to create this in database. You can join two tables together to create one, using the select statement. That's like the advanced stage of this. So that's what a foreign key and primary key actually do. So what are the things to note about the primary key? This is how the database look like when we get into that software. This is what we're going to be doing. We will create a table, create a database, So the primary key is needed to keep tracks of records, and it must always have a value. You know, when you look at primary key, there's always a number. Like I said, Mariam 101, there's always a number because that number is what will pull out your identity. Like your social security, you see, it's just numbers. So those numbers will pull out your information. So it must have values. The values must never change. Like I said before, once you have a social security number, that is your identity for the rest of your life, and it doesn't change. And then the value must be unique to each record on the table. Just like I said, it's just your identity. That's why when you pick a core and you want to do anything in the US, I'm sorry, I'm using the US a lot because I'm familiar with the system. So once they ask you your date of birth and your SSN, that's social security number. So you might have the same date of birth with somebody, but you might not have the same, or you cannot have the same social security number with another person. So, and you must have an ID, just like we saw in that table in the previous slide. So you must have an ID, Mariam 101, you know, and the data type is always integer. It has to be numbers. It can't be strings. Integers are numbers. So you will see that when we are creating the tables. Now, I talked about relationship before. I'm going to talk more about these relationships in database management system. So there's one-to-one relationship. And this is a relationship where a record in one table is associated with exactly one record in another table. We have the employee table right here, and we have the salary table right here. But in the employee table, you have all the employee ID. Employee ID is the primary key, and you have the first name of that employee. You have the second name, the last name of that employee, and you have the salary ID. That means on employee table, you will be able to see that person's salary. That means also in the salary table, you have the salary ID, which helps you to pick the employee's details. Remember, the employee, the salary ID is inside the employee table. So from that table, you can see that this person has an ID, and you can pull that person's salary from that salary table. Remember, they are not the same, but there's a relationship between the salary table and the employee table. And that's what that's what one-on-one relationship is. One-on-one relationship is also like a man to a woman, you know, like a mother to a child. A mother can have many children, and that's another example. So a child to a mother is one-to-one relationship. A child cannot have two mothers, but a mother can have many children. That is many to many. So we'll get to that. So we have one to many. Okay, so there's one to many. So the mother to child is, or mother to children is one to many. One mother to many children. My mother can have many children, but I cannot have two mothers. I have to come from one mother. So a child relationship between a child and a mother is a one-to-one relationship. So you can have a mother table and children's table. So in the mother table, the mother will have mother ID, and the children's table, the children will have children ID. So in the mother table, you will see all the children that woman has on that table. And in the children table, you will see children ID, but in the, please let me know if I'm too fast. In the mother table, you will see all the children ID, Mariam 101, Stella 103, Jessica 105 in the mother table. But all these IDs, as you see right here, the mother ID, you will see Mariam ID, Stella ID. So all of them are connected to the same mother. That is one-to-one. But the children, you will see a Mariam ID. I will only be connected to my mother and everything that has to do with my mother. So that's an example of one-to-one. So let's talk about one-to-many. In this type of relationship, a role is one table. A role in one table can have many matching roles in the second table.
Yeah, me I recharge. Today I'm machine to WhatsApp.
Can you mute that person, please, Dr. Heidi? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in this type of relationship, a role in one table can have many matching roles in the second table, but a role in the second table can only have one matching role in the first table. So you can see this is the school ID, this is the school table, and this is the student table. In the school table, you have the school ID. Let's say Texas A&M. And then maybe the school ID is Texas 105, and the school name is Texas A&M. The student table, you will have a lot of students. So that's one school to many students. So that's one to many. So one school can have a lot of students, but one student cannot have a lot of schools at the same time. So that's an example of one to many. And then we have many to many relationship. So in this example, the many to many, there's always a link between table A and table B, as we can see right here. In the many to many relationship, a table has matching column in the column B and vice versa. There is always an intermediary table, which is known as the conjunction table right here, the subject table, that is linked to the two tables. So it does this by having two fields that reference the primary key of each of the other two. So we have the school ID here, the school table here, and the student table. So in between them, there should be subject table where all the subject that the students will be taken from that school. So there's going to be a link. So school table is going to pick school ID and connect to school ID inside the subject table. And then the student table is going to have a connection with student ID in the subject, because the student is able to see all the subject in the subject table. So SQL does this, or database does this. If it connects together, it makes it easy for you to pull out when you use the right select statement and all the commands to call out all this. So when you're calling this out, you might be picking different information from all this. It might be a large data, but you can't pull all of them. You can also use select all from, you pick the table and it brings out all the information. Or you can drill down. You can actually drill down. So select employee ID where first name is Mariam and the last name is Adeyemi. So, we are writing the query. That's how to write the query. So call out the information that you want. So it's not every time you call out everything you need in a table. Somebody might say, a boss might say, let's find out how many customers live in Dallas. You just use a select statement to call out that from the big data they have. Select customer from customer table where city equals Dallas, boom, and it brings out every customer in Dallas. So in this training, we're going to be using MySQL. I've talked about that Workbench, and it's the most popular database management system right now because it's very easy to use. So are we ready to download? Do we have any question before we download? Any question?
Hello. Hi, Mariam.
Yes. Here.
Please, can you explain the one-to-one relationship again?
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. So the one-to-one relationship is a relationship between one person and another person with a connection. I give an example of a mother and a child. And I'm not going to use mother and child as the one-to-one. Mother and child is one-to-many. Child to mother is a one-to-one relationship. A child can only have one mother. So if you have a mother table, just like we have employee table in your database, and you have a children's table, as we have salary here. So in the mother table, you will see mother ID. It could be mommy 105. That's the ID. And then you will see all the children, like Mariam 101, Stella 102, Jessica 105, Adi 110, 110, whatever. And then in the children's table, you will have Mariam 101, Jessica 105. So all of us will be in the children's table. But you see this line here, that's the connection. So when you connect together, it will pick my mom, mommy 101, and connect Mariam 101. So every information about mommy 101 and me will come out when you query the data. If you use the right command, maybe you join that. You will see that when we are running the query. So that is one-to-one. And a one-to-one could also be a student with a teacher. A student can have many teachers. Teacher can also have many students. Okay, we can't use student to teacher because student can have a lot of teachers. And then you can use that as one-to-one because you can connect it. And when you query the data, it's going to bring out everything that has to do with that student connected with that teacher. So that's the work of query. That's the work of SQL. You query specific information, not everything, using the ID. That's why the ID is very important. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so are we ready to download? So let's download together. Go to. You have a question?
Can I quickly ask this question, please?
Okay.
Yes. Can you use SQL Health for to analyze research data?
Yes, you use it to query the data that you want. It's a form of analysis because when you query the data, you are drilling down to a specific information, like I said, right? Like you want to analyze, you have a lot of information, and then you need to see something. And what this one does is not going to give you visualization. And that's why we have the Power BI training to help you pull out information, take it to Power BI for visualization. But this one is to analyze data to pick out specific information from a big database.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we have another question before we move in?
Yes, please. I have a question, please.
Okay, Tony.
Please. What's it called? I just want to know if the relationship is symbiotic, like between the tables, because it feels like from the explanation, when you require, for example, student ID, when you require information on the student, you can add that to the table that has the teachers, and then you pull out all the information about the student. But if you require information about the teacher, can you add maybe the teacher ID under the student so that you get the information about the student?
Sure, provided that that teacher has a table in the database. There must be a table in the database for you to have relationship. If there's no table, there's not going to be any relationship. So it is the tables that we are relating. Remember the diagram I showed you where we have a lot of tables that are linked together in a database. So yeah. So let's go ahead and download MySQL. It takes a while, so you might have to be patient. It's a long process. I put this on the in the presentation so you can see the flow. So go to mysql.com. Can you see that? Then you click on download. Please slow me down if I'm too fast. I need to show you step by step how to do this. So when you go to the download page, go all the way down and select MySQL Community DPL download. Click on that. When you get to that page, go to MySQL installer for Windows. Click on that. When you get to this page, you will see two downloads. Don't pick the first one, pick the second one. Windows 86, 32. Okay, so I already downloaded. Okay, so when you go to MySQL, click www.mysql.com or mysql.com, and then click on downloads. When you click on downloads, it takes you to this page. When you get here, click on MySQL installer for Windows. It brings you here. When you get here, you see two different downloads. Don't pick the 2.4 megabytes. Pick the 450.7, which is the 8.0 to 0.26. It's the same, but pick the bigger one, then click on download.
Sorry, excuse me, Mariam. Is it a different option for Mac? I don't see my SQL download for Windows.
Okay, so if you go to Mac, just click on download MySQL Workbench.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Sarbajoy here from STEMHub. For the Mac users, I just pasted the link for downloading Workbench on your Mac onto our chat. Hope that will help.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So you click on download. When you click on download, it brings you here. So when you get here, don't log in. You don't need to log in. Just go to no, just start my download. Click on that. The moment you click on that, you see right here is downloading. So wait for it to download.
Can you go back to that, please?
I'm already installing. So, okay. So what page do you want me to go back to?
The login. Do we have to log in?
No, don't log in. You don't have to. Don't. Just click no thank, just start download and it will download for you.
Okay, I got it now. Thank
Don't
you.
log in, please. Okay, so once you download, click open file to open it.
So now, the size of what I'm having here is 3.7 mega zip archive.
You don't have the four what is it called now? The other version.
450.7. I don't have it on my system.
Download whatever you have, but the bigger one anyways.
Okay, it's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Mariam.
Yes.
Please, what are we downloading? Is it the 2.4 M or the 450.7?
450.7. So I'm going to pause here. Let me know where you get stuck and I'll continue from here. Once you download, just click on it and click on that until you get here. It's telling me welcome back because I deleted it just to show you. I had it before on my computer, then I deleted. So
please, while we wait, if you don't mind, if you could explain the many-to-many relationship again. I didn't quite get it.
Okay, so for the many-to-many relationship is a table, a kind of relationship. Yeah. It's a kind of relationship that has connection with two different tables. I mean, the data in the second table has a lot of connection to the first table. Remember, I used the mother to children relationship. We said the mother table and the children table. In the mother table, you see that mother ID, the mother can have many children, but a child cannot have many mothers. So let me go to the slide. Oh, I don't know if I have to unshare. Just give me one moment. Can you see this? Can you see my screen? This slide?
Yes. Can you see this slide? Yes, I can see the slide.
Okay. So the many-to-many, sorry. Okay, so there's always a link, like in a junction table. This is the junction table, the subject. Sorry, I was talking about one-to-many. Forgive me. So the many-to-many has a relationship between one table and the other one, but there's a link, there's a table in between that links them. And I gave an example of the school and the students and the subject. In a school, you have one school and with many students, and you have the student table, you know, in the school. What are the students going to be doing in that school? These are the subjects. So there are different subjects. So in that subject table might have different schools, right? The subject table might be a standalone table that has Texas A&M, Texas Tech, or Michigan University, all of that in that table. But you want to pick a student from a particular school. So you use the school ID. Remember, the school, in the school table, you might have Texas A&M 101, you might have Michigan University 105, you might have University of Abuja 1020. So if you want to pick any information that has to do with that particular school, you run the query based on the school ID. And the moment you pull out the school ID, there's a student table in that school. So it's going to pick information for students from that school without picking students from other schools. There's a link between subject table. That subject table has different school information and subject information and students from different schools. So if you link it like that, with the school ID and the student ID linking to the subject ID, you will be able to pick the relationship between the school and the student and the subject together. So there will always be an intermediary table for many to many that links both table A and table B. It could be different things. It could be employee and it could be salary table. And then you could see the bonus table in the middle. The bonus table will tell you what bonus each employee is taking. It will link the employee table and the salary table to the bonus table to pick that information. I don't know if I answered your question. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it was well, quite. I just needed to understand. So it still gets a bit confusing. It still sounds like a one-to-one relationship with an intermediary in between. So yeah, what makes each one a many? Is it a one-to-one with an intermediary in between that makes it many to many?
Well, we don't call it one-to-one. The intermediary actually makes it many to many, actually. That is you can see from my okay. I put that in inverted comma. I quoted that. That is what makes it many to many, because you're already bringing a middleman into it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
On my end, it's showing choosing a setup type, developers default, and I don't know which one to pick, server only, client only, full, and custom.
So go to Google, type MySQL Workbench.
Okay.
It will take you straight to where to download Workbench, because we are using Workbench.
Hello, Mariam.
Yeah.
Please, I don't know, I followed through with your direction for downloading. Then it's telling me the installation package could not be opened. Verify that the package exists and that you can access it. That is after downloading it. I don't know, what could be wrong?
Okay, I think you move a few steps faster than us.
Really? Okay. Maybe I should just do it all over again. Thank you.
You can uninstall and then start all over again.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Excuse me. Mine looks very similar to yours. Yours says welcome back in the screen.
Yeah.
Mine starts off with choosing a setup type.
Yeah, so this, don't worry. From that point, we will take it from there. We'll move to next, and then you start seeing all of this.
Okay.
Hi, Mariam.
Yeah.
Okay, so after downloading, I'm trying to run the application. It says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Should I click on yes or no?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Suleiman.
Oh, please, I don't know if it's just me. It's taking too long to download.
It could be your network or your operating system, your computer operating system.
Are you sure I'm not sure I'm downloading the right thing?
Go to google.com.
But it's my SQL installer.
Yeah, that's it. Again, your internet.
My SQL installer.
Yeah, your internet might be a problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's like 451 megabytes.
You're on the right track. Because that has all the things I'm going to be showing you. So if you don't download the right package, you might see something different from what I am showing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Miriam.
Thank you.
Yeah, Precious, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How about you?
I'm good.
Okay, for me, I just downloaded it. Do I need to run the application?
Are you seeing
Because
what I have on the
disconnected.
screen? Sorry.
Yes, I used the link. I got disconnected at some point, but I logged in back and I saw the link for Mac users. I clicked on the link. I downloaded the MySQL Workbench. Yes, I use Mac.
Okay.
Yes, I use Mac. So I downloaded the Workbench 8.0, but it's telling me to run the application. I haven't run the application yet, so I don't know why you stopped because I got disconnected at some point.
Run the application.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mariam.
Hey, Kayode.
Yes, please. Can you tell me the difference between the 450 size and the one I downloaded? Because mine was just about 40.50.
Well, I know that this one that we downloaded has all the package because you need MySQL shell, which is the package that makes all the other visualizations that you'll be seeing, all the tables you'll be seeing, everything you'll be seeing to work. So that when I was downloading, I downloaded a lower version and I couldn't, it gave me a whole lot of problems until I downloaded that one. But wait, let's keep moving. If you encounter any problem along the line, we'll try to troubleshoot.
All right, thank you very much.
Hi, Mariam. Good morning.
Mariam, real quickly, I know Olaide had his hand raised up. Can we go to Olaide first?
Lalade, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I lost connection on my desktop, but right now I'm connected with my phone. I just finished installing, but I'm on the page that says choosing a setup type. It says developer default, server only, client only. I don't know what to choose.
Did you see custom?
Custom? Yes.
Click on that.
All right, and I go next.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Welcome. Being fast on you?
Okay, I think the previous person has asked my question, but when I clicked next, it's showing my SQL Server application, my SQL connectors, the documentation. I should just click next again.
Click next again. Maybe I should just be clicking next. If you're where I am right now, can you see what I have on the screen? Select product to upgrade. I'm not upgrading anything, so.
Where I am now is saying check requirements and it's listing products. My SQL Server, my SQL Workbench, my SQL for Visual Studio, my SQL Shell, my SQL.
Pick all of them.
Okay.
So now I am currently I'm applying the updates and I'm ready to download. So you can see.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, Gemma.
Yes, please. I just what popped up on my screen is my SQL Benchwork 8.0 setup wizard ended prematurely.
So uninstall and start again.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Where I am, mine is saying allow SQL to make changes on your device.
Click yes.
Hello.
Hi.
After clicking the custom, it took me to a page where it says select products, and my next button it's not being highlighted. It's saying enable the select features page to customize product features, and I don't understand what that means.
Okay. Is it where it says product configuration?
No, select product, and it's showing there are like two boxes and one has available products.
What are the products?
MySQL servers, applications, MySQL connectors, and documentation.
Select all of them.
Clicking on the plus button beside and.
Because I already passed that place. And then
let's go next.
Just click on that. Can you click on it?
Did we log in or sign up?
I didn't.
Hello, ma.
Okay. For me, I have the same
log in or sign up? Or no thanks, just start my download.
Log in. Just go when you're starting. Don't click on login. that blue button. Don't click on that blue button. Just go ahead and say, no, thanks. Go ahead and download.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Miriam.
Yes.
Please download.
Mine has been saying, please wait while Windows configure my SQL installer, and it's taking forever to come up.
Yes, sometimes
I don't know
it's slow.
if there's something I need to do. Okay.
Sometimes it's slow.
So
I'm also stuck
then.
on this page, but we have to wait. We don't have a picture.
Exactly. I'm trying to click the product and it's not working. It's nothing is coming. Nothing is.
Can you uninstall and follow this process again? Sometimes it gives problem.
Okay, so for that product, I have the same issue, but what I did was, if you keep on clicking on that small plus button, you will get to the final stage of it, like the last stage, which is my SQL Server 8.0. So you can select that one, and the green button will now be highlighted for you to move it to the product. Yeah, so keep on like going down to the, you can be able to select at that point. So that's what I'm doing.
You see why I'm laughing like a fish? Because you're having pros in the house already. Thank you.
Miriam, please,
yes.
What should I choose?
What?
Sorry. Can the person who replied just can I ask a question to you? Did you do that for all the four icons, like the four name titles?
Yes, I'm doing that for all.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Please, can you go over what you said again?
Hello, Mariam.
Yes, Fatima.
Yeah, I have a problem with my download. So after downloading everything, it's telling me that your system has not been modified. To complete the installation at another time, please run the setup again. Or click finish to move. Yeah.
Again, and make sure your system has the capacity to the storage capacity. If not, it's not going to complete the download. So you need to free up your system to accommodate that size.
Okay,
Miriam. Thank you.
Yeah, Mojisola.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, Chi, please. After Mojisola, please.
What setup type? Developer default, server only, client,
custom.
Or custom?
Yes.
Which one?
Custom.
Custom. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the same question. Choose a setup type. So I should choose custom.
Yes, ma'am.
I have developer server.
Yes, ma'am. Custom. Yeah.
So on that product, the third application, which is MySQL for Visual Studio, it's not allowing me to highlight it.
Did you already highlight Workbench?
Yes.
You're fine. Workbench and SQL Server Shell is what we want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, can you select products, SQL Server applications, connectors, documentation?
The main products that we want, the shell and the Workbench. If you have that, you're good.
Miriam, there's the last one says enable select features page to customize. Should we toggle this on or just go to next? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, mine is updating, so I think
So we just click next.
Yeah, just keep moving until you get to execute. Keep moving. Click. Yes.
When check requirements and it's saying there's execute there, should we just click execute?
Execute. You guys are really faster than me. Whoa.
Miriam, on the select product, I have the server, the application, the connectors, and the documentation.
Click all the ones you can click and click on next if it allows you.
You can only click one.
Can only click one.
Okay.
Hi, Miriam.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on. I clicked on custom and I went to next. Then it took me to where you have select products. So what do I do?
What are the products that you have?
My SQL Server applications, SQL connectors, document.
Yeah, I first said you can do it. The amount in Naira is 600,000. 600.
Can you mute?
Okay, hi.
100,000. Let me send
Lois, can you
Please,
mute?
the select products.
Okay, let me
Samra's
let me help with that select product because sorry Miriam, this is Vivian, because I just went through that process. So
Yeah.
for that select product, so you have all those product my SQL server and everything. So you will see that small button. You have to click on that and get to the last step of it. That's where the product
Okay, I've
is. So
sent the
that
amount to you.
so it's when you
Which
click
button
on
am
that.
I clicking on? Which button am I clicking on?
So my SQL server.
Let's take it one at a time, please.
Okay, that my SQL server, you will see a small plus. Yeah, so click on that. It will open up other ones. Then keep on clicking on that. So at the end, you will get my SQL server. So it has two types depending on your system's your Windows the size or whatever. They have the one for the 64-bit and they have the one for the 84-bit or something like that. So then when you click on that, it will pick up the one that belongs to your system, and that green arrow button will be highlighted for you to move it over to the product that you're selecting. Right? So you can now move it over. So you do that for all of them. Then when you're done, you can now go to when you're done, then your next button will be activated. You can go to the next and continue.
Sorry for the application.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
welcome.
What about the check requirements? Because I think we can only click one. Should we just click next instead of execute?
So you have to do the next and pick up all the products that you want to install before you can get to execute.
Because I'm in the check requirement page, and I think we can only highlight just one. You can't pick like everything.
If you want, you can, like I selected all of them, although I don't need them. But from what Miriam said, are you at the select product stage? Because that's what I'm talking about.
No, I mean check requirements after the select products. When you're done selecting products, the next page is you're gonna see check requirements where you see the product to choose.
Okay, so the product.
Yeah, you have the option to execute or just go next.
Actually, just execute. Oh, mine, I didn't have that next. I just had back, execute, and cancel. So I executed.
Sorry for the application.
Hello, I'm at the select product. After clicking on the small plus down, it's still not highlighting the next.
And mine did not highlight.
Not highlight the next.
Oh, so when you get to the last one, you have to move. There is an arrow that connects those two windows. So you have to click on the green arrow to move the product you selected into the other one. That's only when your next will be highlighted.
All right. Hello, Mariam.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, please. I'm using Windows, and I've downloaded it already, but still, I can't access it. I mean, it's just loading. It's taking a whole day.
Did you download already?
Yes, it's downloaded already. And I've gone to my downloads. I've seen it. Then if I click on it, it's just loading. Like,
it might be your network.
Hello, Ma. I've gotten to where it says my SQL installer, adding community, choosing a setup type. What should I choose, please?
Choose custom.
Can people just mute so we can?
Okay, the last one. Thank you.
Yes.
Then I click on next. Then.
Are you guys seeing my screen? Are you seeing what I'm doing?
No, we're not seeing your screen.
Okay, let me go back to share my screen. Because I had to uninstall so I can show you guys, and I don't know where you are now.
Available products to be installed.
Okay, so the products that you saw, did you select them? Which of the products did you select?
I haven't selected any because I don't know which ones to select.
So which one do you have? Call them for me, please.
Okay, my SQL servers, applications, my SQL connectors, and documentation.
Pick the server. Did you see my SQL Workbench?
No, ma'am.
In the products, you should see, because it's the main thing we're going to use.
I think my SQL Workbench is part of the server. So when you select the server and when you're installing,
it's going
to
brings
up the
all of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you
my
select
SQL
them.
Workbench is under applications.
So select that and click next.
So I will select only my SQL servers.
Select server.
Okay.
When you click the server, it needs to have a shell
and
Workbench.
application.
Yes.
Okay. So should I select the applications as well?
Yes.
Next is not popping up.
Does
it mean I haven't selected?
You've not selected.
Yeah, you haven't selected. So you have to go to that small plus tiny button that is just on the left side of that and click on that button till you get to the last item. So that's the item that you need to select and move it over to the other one. To the other window.
Sorry, please. Is it my SQL Server 5.6?
We are seeing different things. That's why I was mute.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Is my SQL Server, when I clicked on it, it dropped below my SQL Server,
So when you get to that place, click my SQL Workbench, click on the plus sign. It's going to open up more options for you. Just select my SQL Workbench 8.026 and immediately a green arrow is going to show. Click on that green arrow to move it to the next box. And then you go to you go down also, pick shell, my SQL shell. If you see it there.
When I click on it, no green arrow pops up, ma.
It has to, because I don't know. Are you seeing my screen?
Hello?
I'm not seeing your screen, ma.
No, we're not seeing your screen.
Yeah, we're not seeing
because I already passed that stage.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, this is what's happening. When there are two tables there. One of the table has available products and the other has products to be installed. In between available product and product to be installed, you will see three arrows. One is pointing forward, the other one is pointing backward. While the third one is pointing. Yes. If you click on what you want to install, click on the one pointing forward, and it has to be green. Do you understand?
Okay, so when I click on my SQL Workbench, for instance,
yes,
I will click on the green, so it goes to the next box.
Okay, when you click on my SQL Workbench, you see a drop down. On that drop down, you are going to see another my SQL Workbench that do not have the same box as the other SQL Workbench above it.
Yeah, it has the 8.0, right?
Exactly. 8.0.26.
Okay.
So click on 8.0, that one that has 8.0.26 x64.
Yes.
If that's what you have. Click on it and then click on that forward arrow that is showing green. Does that work for you?
Hi, Mariam.
Hi. So hey everyone, sorry I had to mute everyone. I know there is a huge queue of people who have their hands raised. I would really like to do a hand raise. I would really like the ones who have been raising their hands for long to go first before we go. So first, I know Bim had her hand raised for quite a while. So Bim, can you ask your question first? Bim Fasanya. If not Bim, Shayna, do you have would you like to ask your question next?
Yeah, so in the installation process before, when we're checking requirements, it's basically saying that we needed
either SQL or Python in order to proceed. And I was going to ask her whether or not I should download one or the other, but it's basically saying both need to be installed. So I no longer need to raise my hand.
So you have to install both of them if it says both needs to be installed.
Yeah, so I'm installing them.
All right.
All right, thank you, Shana. And I know next is Uzo. I think Uzo, you had your hand up. What would you like to ask? Uzo? If not Uzo, Temitope.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Miriam.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. So I'm past the stage of installing, but then at this final stage, which I think is the final stage, after installing the two application and I think sample something, it's asking me to connect to server, and I have this prompts page where it's asking for username and password.
Right. I was waiting for that question. So you need to create a username. If it gives you username like local instance or something root, just leave that username, create a password. Because when you get what you are seeing on my screen, can you see welcome to my SQL Workbench on my screen?
Yes, I can. Yes,
so
I can.
When you get here, you're going to click this, whatever name it is, and then you will add your password. I already have my password, but I'm not putting it because I want you guys to get here before we go into the software.
Oh, but I can't see any username here. It says provide the credentials.
You can create
a random username.
Just create something you remember or write it somewhere.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Oh, wait, hang on. Mariam, you can.
Good afternoon.
Mariam W, you can ask your question next. So we are maintaining a queue here. Sorry. So Mariam W, any question?
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm on the select products page and I've pretty much downloaded everything, but the one on connector Python 8.0, it's saying that I can't.
You don't need Python.
Okay. Okay, so other things are fine, right?
Yes, you don't need the Python.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariam. Respectfully lower your hand. And Dabareshi, sorry if I mispronounced your name, but yeah, Dabareshi, what's it?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right, please, I am on the select product page. Okay. I have my SQL server, I have applications, my SQL connectors, and documentation. Please, what should I select next?
Did you see custom there?
No.
Call out what you have first, please.
My SQL servers, applications, my SQL connectors, and documentation.
Select applications.
Okay. Applications, I have my SQL Workbench, my SQL Workbench 8.0, my SQL Workbench 8.0.
When you selected that, did you see an arrow?
Yes, I did.
So select that my SQL 8.064. 8.0264.
Okay, okay.
You see that thing will turn to green. The arrow will turn to green. Just click on that arrow. It will move it to the next box.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kawaichi. I'm going to respectfully lower your hand. And Oriomi, what question?
Please, I've done that. What's next after that, ma?
Go down again if you see anything shell there.
My SQL router.
No. Did you see anything, my SQL shell, something?
Yes, I've seen that.
So click that plus button. Make sure you pick the one that has 8.02064. I'll move it to that box also.
Okay. I've
Then
done
click
that.
next.
Okay.
Okay, hi Miriam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I'm trying to install my own, and I'm at the point where it's asking one or more product requirement have not been satisfied.
Okay.
Should I click yes or no?
Which product was not satisfied?
I don't know. You said those products with missing requirements will not be installed or upgraded. Do you want to continue?
Which one did you
Sorry,
install? So we know the one.
missing products are the Python and the Visual Studio.
We don't need Python.
But we do need the Visual Studio.
We need Visual Studio.
Please, can you just start from the select products again and run it again? Because we're stuck
I have
there.
to uninstall what I have.
Majority of us are stuck there, ma, please.
Okay, let me uninstall. Yeah, just hold on. I'm uninstalling what I did and I'm starting all over again.
Hi, everyone. I know that this is a new process and a lot of us are having issues, and please try being patient. And I know our instructor Mariam is helping a lot of us. We definitely can try doing a better, like from our end, we could probably have done a better job with helping and apologize. For now, we have a queue of people who still have questions they'd like to ask. And I know our instructor Mariam is also showcasing us how to install this. With that, Mariam, can you? We'll let Mariam show how she's running, and if you still have questions, please do raise your hand and ask anything. And then alternatively, if that cannot be us, feel free to send a chat to me, my name on the STEMHub Foundation, and I'll try making sure questions there. This is a big group. We may not be able to get to everyone as quick as possible. We are trying our best, and thank you for your patience on that. And yeah, Mariam, the mic is yours.
Thank you. So I've gone back to the page. Have you seen? Can you see my screen, my SQL? So what I did, I uninstalled what I installed because I was ready to go into the software so that we can start building our database. But we all need to get this done. So go to downloads. When you get to that page, scroll down like so. Right. Select MySQL Community, GPL download. Click on that. Select my SQL installer for Windows. You can also select my SQL Workbench, but I like using this because it gives me the full package. Select download. Once you do that, it brings you here. Do not log in. Go to no thanks, just start my download. And it's going to start downloading for you. So if this is the only thing we can do today, next week we will start running our queries and building our database. The first is to build the database, and then we create the tables. So, but I just want all of us to get this ready for next week because we must run queries. So click open file to open it. Can you still see? Can you see the installer 1.4?
Sorry, here. I see it on my end. Let's see it. I think everyone else should. Yeah. Let's see. We mostly yes, and some say it has stopped, but yeah.
Right. So you click on next because you have port 3306, and just leave this as it is, and go to next. Go to next.
Sorry, Mariam. Mine didn't take me there. I'm on choosing a setup type. Developer defaults, server only, client only, full and custom.
Yeah.
That's also where I am too. Didn't bring me to this place.
Which order should we
That's
choose?
why
Yeah.
Should we choose a full setup?
Our instructor was having some technical issues on her end, and she has just, I think she is just tackling that. For some questions on the Mac users, I know one of the key things is, I think you may need an upgraded OS version of Mac, 11.12, 11.1 or above for Mac. Yeah, there is also some instructions because like there is some security and privacy things you need to like reconfigure, as well as a few things. I'm gonna try getting our checking on our instructor to see where she is at and how her connection is going. Other than that, we will have the video of this session sent to all of us. All of you. The slides I'll also check with our instructor forward. In the meantime, whilst we are waiting for her to come back, I'm gonna send a link for a survey, because any feedback you have in terms of like what we could have done better, how we could have avoided a lot of these technical issues, as well as any good things that you've had so far. If you could provide any feedback on for us, the link is there. Thank you so much for your patience. I know trying to learn a new skill and trying to follow as well as the installation can be hard.
Last connection. I'm back.
So I'm saying select product, an available product I can see, server application, MySQL connector, documentation. Which of them should I select? Applications. Okay.
Yes.
Before asking questions, I will really want to be respectful and mindful of the ones who have actually been raising their hands for a while. So if you would like to ask a question, would you please use the raise hand feature and be respectful for the other members who are in the class. Thanks in advance. And if you could share your screen, please. And let's see. And I know Olva Bukola, I think you had a question. If you'd like to ask, you're next in queue if you'd like to ask that.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can. We can see, and it's showing the installer 8.0.26 applied.
Right.
Yep.
So is it executing again? Because I had to start all over again. I lost connection earlier. Sorry about that. So
Dolapo Ade, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
I think my question was answered along the line. It wasn't me who asked it. So I had to uninstall, and now I have to go back and start it all over again.
Yeah, it's always better uninstall, start all over again if you get stuck or it breaks in between. Because once it breaks in between, it's going to destabilize everything. So it's better you start all over again.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And for those with their hands raised, if your questions have already been answered, would you be kind enough to lower your hands? And Marvin, I do apologize. I had to mute everyone earlier. Marvin, would you like to ask your question next?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Marvin Nwabusi.
Can you guys see my screen? I was able to get back here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please, I want to ask, when I download, do I have to create an account?
No. Don't log in. Just go to no thanks. Just download.
Okay. Thanks.
I did that, and it came up with create an account and all that when the download was completed.
Don't create any account.
Thanks, Suzo. Marvin, you were trying to ask a question as part of the queue. So Marvin, could you ask your?
Okay. Mine is not a question. Mine is can we please allow the presenter to complete the full installation before bringing up any questions, so that it will help us to know what we're actually doing. Almost 70% of everyone here has one or two questions to ask, taking us back and front on installing and installing to get us more confused. So we have so many questions, but let us just watch her installing it first before we now come up with all the questions, but we'll keep on roaming around the whole thing without achieving anything. That's just a contribution.
I have a question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I have a question. So how many people are having problems installing? Because I have installed and uninstalled like 3 or 4 times. So if it's not working from your end, it's either it is network or you're not doing the right thing.
Madam, that is exactly what I'm just trying to say. Just go ahead, run down the whole process with your screen being shared. Everyone will see that you've been able to install successfully. Then we can now start there to know where our problems are, because some people will keep on having issues and uninstalling, like I've uninstalled 3 times and I'm still waiting for you to complete a particular process. So you just do this, and everyone should.
At what stage are you?
Personally, I'm uninstalling again. So just run the process down so that people will know what they are doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to do it one more time and I will not do it again. I'm going to uninstall again and that's it. Okay.
Madam, please, it's not about you uninstalling. It's about it's not about you uninstalling. The difference is about what is being displayed on your system. It's different from what is being displayed on at our own end here. So the installation, I'm not sure it's about uninstalling, installing.
Thank you.
That's the issue. Is different.
So let me understand the problem you have installing. And then again, it depends your computer's operating system. The installing process is the same worldwide. If you have the wrong operating system or you have a system that has low capacity, it will be slow. And for instance, my SQL Workbench is 400 and something megabytes. If you have lower capacity on your computer, of course, it's going to give you a problem. So you have to make sure that your computer is capable of what you want to put on it, because these are heavy software that you're putting on your computer. So if it doesn't have capacity, then you need to upgrade your computer maybe before the next class, or I don't know, but it's the same installation process is the same worldwide, anywhere, anytime.
It's okay, ma. Please, what should I select next? I'm on a select product. What should I click next? Next is not in this list.
Applications.
After application.
Hello, ma. Good afternoon.
Please, let's allow that person to finish.
After applications.
When you select applications.
Okay.
It's going to show you some buttons, plus buttons. Click that.
SQL, yes. I've clicked on the plus buttons. I'm having a workshop for Visual Studios, MySQL shell, MySQL router.
Did you see Workbench?
Yes, I'm seeing Workbench.
So click on Workbench. That Workbench must be 8.0, 8.02, blah, 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 64.
8.0, yes, 8.0.
Once you click on that, it's going to show a green arrow. I think somebody already explained this earlier. Vivian explained it earlier. So click on that green arrow. It's going to take you to the next box beside it. That means we are ready. Scroll down again to see if you see anything MySQL shell.
Okay.
click the plus sign on the shell.
Okay.
And then anyone you see shell 8.0 blah 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 64. Click
Okay.
on that. The green button is going to activate again.
Okay.
Then click on the green button, it will move it to the next box.
I've done that.
Those are the two we need. Click
Okay.
execute once you do that.
It's all right. Thank you very much.
Once you do
Then the
that.
rest of them. After I'm on the check requirement now. Check requirement. Should I check each of them?
What is it showing you?
Under product, I have Workbench 8.028 and Workshell 8.0.26.
Correct. Click next.
I shouldn't check the two of them.
Check it and click.
Okay. Okay.
And click next.
Okay. Done.
Done. You're almost
Yes.
set. What next do you see? I'm coming. Sorry, please. What next do you see?
Status field. DL field. DL field.
Okay. It has to do with your computer. Maybe you check your computer. Next
All right,
question.
thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
but that's the process. You are almost done if it's not your computer. Yeah.
Sorry, can Temitope go next? I think she has been waiting for quite a while.
Temitope, please.
Yes, please, Mariam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Earlier you said I could use any username and password, but I tried and it still says I require root privileges.
Okay. Did you get to a point where it shows you 3306 ports something? Did you change anything there? Okay.
No, I'm just on the page to connect to server, then put username, password, then check. But I can't check because it says require root privileges.
You did not do something. You did not install shell. So I advise that you uninstall and install again. Make sure you pick shell. That shell, yes, shell is missing. You only installed my Workbench, but you did not install shell. The shell is the one that will take you to the local instance, the server itself. So the server is missing.
Oh, okay, I'll do so.
So make sure you pick shell also. That's why I said you should pick Windows installer. It has all of them inside. Or else you have to install shell separately and install my SQL Workbench separately.
Oh, that's what I did. I'm sure I must have missed it somewhere.
You did.
I'll do it all over again.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Hi, Mariam.
Yes.
Hello.
Can Taiwo, sorry, Joy here, to maintain the queue. Taiwo Adeyemi, could you go next?
Yes, Taiwo.
Helen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm finding it difficult installing. What I have on my screen is my SQL Workbench could not detect any MySQL server running.
Okay, so did you install my SQL installer? Or you just used my SQL Workbench?
I just installed Workbench, yes.
So don't go that route because you need shell. Yes. You need to go through installer so that all the package will come with it. If not, you wouldn't have access to the server. We are going into the server to create database in the server.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Hi,
Manuel.
Mariam.
Yes.
I've downloaded, I've installed, welcome to my SQL Workbench.
Yay,
But,
that's it.
It says my SQL Workbench could not dictate any server running. This means it's not installed or it's not running. I have shell. I picked both shell and Workbench.
Did you at any point put password?
No. I
So
just
you
did
need
after I
that.
installed shell and Workbench. I just did finish, and it
So
took me here. There was no
something is missing. Look at my my screen. When I clicked, because this is where we're going to run the work. I created this too. So, but this is where we're going to go into the server. So you must have, this is the server now, you see. You must have a password. If I put a password, you missed something.
Do I need to set up a new server connection?
No. It's just a direct thing. So uninstall and start all over again. It doesn't take anything from you. Just uninstall and start all over again. So if it doesn't ask you password, then you didn't do the right thing. See, it takes me into the server. Can you see? I'm already in the database.
Yeah.
And I'm running my first query and it brings the table. So there's something you did not do if it doesn't ask you for password. I think within the week before next week, I'm going to do a video and send it to the organizers so they can share with you guys to prepare you before next week. From next week, all we want to do is to write codes and create database, build our tables, and we're all set. So, because I need to get off this call any moment from now. We are supposed to have stopped 8 minutes ago. And I want to thank Dr. Adi and the team for this wonderful program. This is impacting a lot of lives, and I'm so happy I'm part of it. So I will do a video on how to do this and send to you, to the organizers. They will send the link to you to download and be ready for next week.